As an elderly, white, Jewish woman, I have a responsibility to use that power and privilege to make a strong statement, to put my body out there, to say the suppression of Palestinians in Israel and Palestine and on university campuses here in the United States has to stop immediately. It's in our hands. We have to make it stop. And this genocide that is going on, we have to acknowledge it is absolutely genocide.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! The right to live in freedom! The right to live in freedom! Ceasefire now! Stop!
There's no words for how horrible the Biden administration has been in their complicity with the Israeli fascist government in funding and continuing to demand more funds for Israeli bombs and munitions and planes and drones. The Israeli military machine and propaganda machine would stop without US aid and political and diplomatic support. Biden has the power to stop it. And he chose that night of Hanukkah to have a Hanukkah party at the White House for all the major Zionist leaders in America, the organizational leaders and the politicians.
Listen to what people are telling you, especially the young people and lots of Jews.
I do not believe in the idea of a singularly Jewish state. I don't need that to be safe. Safety, we believe, is in solidarity, not in building walls and closing ourselves off. No one is free until everyone is free. Palestinian feminists and women have motivated me and inspired me for many years. When I went to Palestine twice, I was most moved by the mothers who held the pictures of their sons who were on hunger strike in the prisons, and all the women who were fierce fighters who didn't let the threats against them stop them from speaking out. Now it's at such an extreme that you see Gazan women in the street, chased out of their homes with no homes, no roof over their heads, no food, trying to pull together something that might approximate flour to make bread in the street with a hot plate to feed their families, and they are determined to do it. And this is Palestinian feminism. It is so strong and heroic. I also, as a scholar of international relations and reproductive and sexual health and rights, I actually see genocide as an attempt to stop the reproduction of an entire people, physically as well as culturally. So, yeah, reproductive justice means stop the genocide. During that trip, I witnessed incidents of racism. And it wasn't racism against Palestinians because they would not allow us to even see Palestinians. We didn't know they existed. But I had an experience on a kibbutz where there was a black man. He was African. I began talking to him. He was very interesting. And a white woman with a Brooklyn accent came up to me and said, "Don't talk to him." And I said, "Why not?" And she said, well, he's African. And I was so shocked. So my feminism emerged at the same time as my anti-racism and my Palestine solidarity, anti-Zionist sentiments. To this day, and in the midst of the worst genocide since the European Holocaust against Jews and others, I am shocked as a political scientist, as a Jew, as a feminist, by the power of the politics of fear. The politics of fear that gets inside these people, inside the Jewish people in Israel and right here in New York City, who really believe, I think they honestly believe, that the whole world wants to kill them, that they are at risk, that another Holocaust for them will come imminently. And this is the whole strategy of Zionism and the Hasbara of the Israeli government. I'm very proud to be part of this movement. I hope we will succeed in making an impact, but it feels like nothing we can do is enough, because the forces of the United States government and the Israeli government are so dug in to their aims, which are to preserve their access to oil and gas. I'm just going to say that. We'll be disentangling this for the rest of our lives. We'll be looking back at the photos someday, just like people look back at the photos of the concentration camps in Germany and say, what horror, how could this have happened? That will be happening another time. I don't think I'll be here.